Hello, can you hear me? Good morning, good morning. Get ready for the stream. Anime still won't let me sign in. Keeps flashing its logo. I'm trying to stare at it. Someday I'll figure out how to switch to animes. Or not animes, the other one. YouTube Studio, maybe? Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I feel like I have a lot to talk about. I'm not sure where to start. I want to do a proper stream talking about our Tokyo trip. But I need to. I mailed some stuff back to myself, so okay, I want to wait for that. I wasn't sure if I was gonna stream. But my body woke up and I was like, well, might as well. I think while I'm sitting here, I'm gonna work on a little comic. I'm gonna try a little comic. But I think I want to get a ruler. Hang on. Oh, I'm floating. Hang on. Meow. There we go. Alright, floating again. Alright. I got a little sketchbook. Oh, hand camera, anything. Oh. Let's see, I think I want to do it this way. Maybe I need more light in here. I don't know. I'm realizing I talk too much in my head. I talk in my head all the time. But now I don't know what to say. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to say. Which to say. I want to talk about the centipede though. That's what I'm drawing a picture of. I'm drawing Minna's POV of the centipede incident of 2025. Let's see. Need to sharpen my pencil. Howdy, Minna. Hello there, Long. Also, hello there, Rando. Hello there, Kuro. Kuru. Hello there, Nibby the Deadly Natter. Tokyo was fun. Again, I wanna save some of it for another stream where I like show off more pictures and stuff. It was wild though. Wild times. Centipedes. I'm trying to draw a picture of my reaction after Pippa's stream when she said she was in pain for hours. I had more pain meds. I should have realized she was in pain. I'm a failure. I should have realized. I just kept talking and singing and talking. I should have realized she was in pain. Ah! It was terrible. I will say, for what she said on her stream about, like she wanted to play it cool. I guess she did succeed because I had no idea she was in so much pain for so long. But then finding out retroactively, I'm like, no! I could have helped more. I should have helped more. I should have checked in on her. I should have known she wouldn't say anything. I should have given her more drugs. I can't believe that Centipede got her. It was like... Hang on, I gotta get my tea. 1 second. I'll be right back. I keep floating. There we go. Did you say you saw the Super Mario movie? Like the animated kids one that came out a while ago? I saw parts of it once. Let's see. There we go. I'll finish talking about the Centipede real quick. I have a little comic I want to draw. I might work on it some now, maybe later. You know, the only explanation I can think of, because it's like we were on a platform that it was just like in the middle of the train track platform, like it was just sitting there, and like there was no grass, no bushes anywhere. My only thought is like on the walk there, maybe like when we were like standing near bushes and grass and stuff, it must have crawled like on top of her shoe, and then while we were standing on the platform, happened to crawl like into one of the holes of her Crocs and bite her. So we were just standing on the platform, and she was like, "Ow!" And then we saw it crawling away. It was like a small little centipede crawling away, and we're like, "Is that a centipede?" And Milliardo's like, "The small ones are the worst." It's been at least 2 years in Japan, and I've been afraid of those centipedes. I've been worried about coming across a centipede. And then she just attracts one, like, teleports it out of nowhere. So yeah, thankfully I had my little Benadryl stick. I should have just given it to her. I should have made her take it and, like, keep using it. But I had my little Benadryl stick, gave it to her. Milliardo is the one that gave her a Band-Aid. And then continued on. And I didn't realize she was still in pain. I should have realized those things are venomous. I should have given her more drugs. I should have checked on her. I'm a failure. But I think she's okay now, so I think she's okay. Oh, what a scuffed vacation. Yeah. I partly came on because I wanted to talk about the centipede. And after I heard her scream, I ran into Milliardo like, ah! I could be letting me in pain. Ah! My Oshi, I let my Oshi be in pain. Ah! Yeah. I don't know, I don't want to talk too much about the trip yet. I don't know how much Pippa wants me to say about what we, like, hung out and did. That was very fun. She's very sweet lady. Self-sacrificing lady, not wanting to bother us. We had more pain meds. Anyway. The other cool thing I'll talk about a little bit. Ultraman Ultraman's so cool. We went to the Ultraman Expo. They had all the suits. The suits look cool even in real life. They're like, they're all like made out of diving suits that are all put together. And I love that they still do that. I love that there's still like it's started back in the day, probably a lot more budget film. And like reusing some like Godzilla suits and stuff. They had like a modified Godzilla suit for the performance with like the frilly like lizard thing. It was really cool. So it's cool seeing all like the suits and some of the like displays of like sets and stuff and scenes. And like the theater space was like, I was expecting like a big stadium. It wasn't a big stadium. It was like a fairly small space. We got a good seat though. We didn't have like a reserve seat, but bought some tickets online. And then they like gave us seats when we got there. And we got some good seats. It was right by the stage. And like, you know, the actors are like jumping on and off the stage and running by. The best part was there was just a straight up T-Rex. Just a straight up T-Rex talking in a deep villain voice in Japanese. Like, oh, so desu ne. He probably didn't say that, but he had an excellent deep villain Japanese voice. And he was just a T-Rex. He was just a T-Rex. It was, you know, part of the story. Like, there's all these monsters and things. I like the guy with the whippy hands. He had, like, these, like, floppy whip hands that he was flailing around. Some of the monster actors were pretty hilarious. Especially, like, the one fish guy. It's kind of funny. Like, it's the straight up T-Rex talking Japanese in the deep villain voice. It's so funny. But it's so impressive. The like acting and like the suits and the way they did like the lights and some sort of special effects things using like the screen and the lights. It was so cool. That was so cool. Big fan. And then went to the shop afterwards and got a lot of stuff. So afterwards, because I looked for a t-shirt, I'm actually wearing it right now, little Ultraman t-shirt. But there was like a section of like baseball tee looking shirts that I didn't go look at. And then when we left, I saw someone wearing a Blazer one, and Blazer's my favorite. I was like, I should have looked over there and found the Blazer shirt. I'm still kind of thinking about it, but I don't think there's a way to get it now. Oh. What are the other thoughts? Again, I talk a lot in my head. I have like all these conversations in my head, or all these thoughts I'm composing. I guess that's why I like writing. It's the easiest way to transcribe them. I think one of the thoughts that's been bouncing around my noggin, is trying to be like more conscious of what if fear starts affecting my parenting. It's hard. It's really hard. Particularly like fear of how I'm perceived and how like kids are perceived. Like, yeah, this is where I just like written this down first because it's easier to write things down. But like, also I think I talk deeper on stream. I think I do. I think my voice sounds deeper on stream. Huh. Maybe. Anyway. Brain means the brain. Fear of perception. Fear of how we're perceived. Mostly like trying to manage and guide and teach the kids how to be in public. But it's work in progress. And sometimes I feel like I overreact because I'm worried people are going to like see where we're currently at and think we should be at a different point, if that makes sense. Like how the kids are behaving. Like kids are trying their best. I'm trying my best to like teach them how to be in public, but it's a process. But I don't know if the like stranger passing us on the train realizes like where we're at in that progress. So I feel like sometimes I react by like overcompensating to like try and show I'm trying to show them how to behave in public. Most of the time, like if they're behaving in a way that I fear people are like perceiving harshly, it's not like they're trying to behave that way. It's more a reaction from other elements of stress and travel. It's hard to tell / understand unless you have kids yourself, I think. Hopefully people are nice about it. I think so. And like they probably aren't thinking as harshly as I like sometimes fear they are. And also I need to not care. I need to focus on how to best address my kids, even if it's perceived negatively by other people, because if I overreact to things, it's just gonna make it worse. Oh, one thing I could talk about is you know how there's like pretty privilege? There's for sure like kids or mom with a young kids privilege. because of the way like Milliardo's work schedule and then like ticket prices were working out. The just going to Tokyo for like the weekend while it was around Obon, which is kind of like Japanese Day of the Dead, were like triple the price. So I was like, well, I will go earlier when it's not so expensive and find kind of, you know, cheap accommodations, or like, you know, try and find some budget accommodations for all the days we'll be there. So we went early. So it was me and the kids in Tokyo for 6 days. Just us. And it went surprisingly well at the beginning. You know, like I was surprised how well I was able to handle myself. Because that's the other thing, is like a lot of things, like pretty sure like everything depends on me. And I set the mood. And how well I'm able to handle things definitely affects how well the kids are able to handle things. This leads into the amount of energy I have, which is another thought that's been rolling in my brain. Okay, I'll chat about all these thoughts on this stream, and that way when I do like the vacay review stream, I guess I could call it, I can focus more about like the things we did. Where was I? Oh yeah, like beginning of the week, I felt like I was doing surprisingly well. I was handling myself well. It's only like a few times that I was kind of like, please, we need to leave this room. We need to get out of the hotel. And gosh, there's so many. I'm gonna sit, because I meant to like write it down. I'm gonna sit right now and try and think through all the kind people, all the kind strangers along our travels. Let me think. Of course, like, I don't know, even just like walking, like getting baggage at airport, walking to the airport, having help like pull the suitcase. People offer for that. There's definitely like, there's some significant times. Let me think. Let me think. Oh, okay, so okay, one big thing first, I think, is my stroller got lost. I was able to get it back after we got home, But my stroller was lost. My awesome little double stroller. Like a side-by-side umbrella stroller. And like sometimes a little inconvenient, like it just fits through doorways. So if you have like bags hanging off the sides, then it's kind of hard to push through the doorways, but like the size itself just fits through doorways. And like other times I've traveled with it in Seoul and Tokyo, there's only been like a few times that it's kind of a little wide or cumbersome trying to get through somewhere. But for the most part, it's like short, it's a little bit wider to the side, but shorter in the front. And very maneuverable. And like both kids can lay down. There's like I can hang so much stuff on that bad boy, like on the handles, like put stuff underneath. There's a cool little like bag that hangs off the back I can put things in. Like that stroller is a beast, and I love that stroller. Again, I got it back, thank goodness. But getting to Tokyo by myself with 2 young boys and our luggage and realizing I don't have a stroller, I was like, oh, this ain't good. This is gonna be a problem. So I was like, I went to a little store, and to see if they could find, if they had like a small cheap stroller. They only have like big expensive ones at that one. And walking by, there was a lady, and she spoke English, and I stopped and like asked her if they had any like smaller strollers and explained the situation. And she was like, you know what? I actually have a stroller that, you know, her daughter used when she's visiting, you know, with the grandkids. But the grandkids are older now, and they're not going to need that stroller. And so the grandma had been holding on to it because the daughter didn't want her to just like throw it out. She wanted her to like, it was a nice stroller, wanted to give it to someone. So it just so happened I was in need of a stroller, especially like a double stroller was the most, you know, would help the most, because I really gotta be able to keep those boys confined, moving about places, safety. I gotta keep them confined sometimes. So instead of having to like put Doe Baby on my back and like make kiddo sit in the stroller, having a double stroller definitely helped. But yeah, it was like a God moment of like, I needed a stroller. I talked to this lady. She happened to have a stroller that she didn't need, and so she dropped it off at our hotel. And we had it's like a stacked stroller, so it has, you know, seat in the front, and then it had like kind of a standing or like bench area in the back, and it's like longer, so it's easier to like fit like through doorways and stuff. But it was definitely hard getting used to like how to steer it, and it's kind of like hard to steer. You gotta like really like throw yourself into it sometimes to get it to turn. But it was nice. It was a nice stroller. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna keep it. I'm probably gonna pass it along. There's like a donation place I could take it to, or see if anyone wants to just pick it up that needs it. But that was like the first like, you know, someone's watching out for me moment. Being able to get that stroller. It is so much bulkier, so much bigger than my nice little umbrella stroller. My little umbrella stroller folds up so nice. It has a little handle to carry and everything. It's so nice. So I did miss it, but very, very grateful I got that stroller. And then let's see. I feel like there's other things along the way. Man, I should have written stuff down. Just kindness along the way. Oh, going to mass, and kids were doing okay. And then of course, like, kiddo runs to the back at one point. I have to go get him, so I just handed Doe Baby to like the lady behind me to go get kiddo. And then, you know, eventually went back to the pew. And then later she was like, oh yeah, he was great. He told me I had a big nose. Apparently he just like poked her nose and was like, big nose. Oh, kids. But like kindness there, you know, that's happened other times when I've traveled solo, especially like going to masses. There's been a few times where I've like handed the baby to someone behind me to go chase the other kid. with like the person was like involved in that moment of like, you know, able to take the baby. Man, I feel like there's more moments. I know there's more to come. I'm trying to think if there's any before that. Oh, when I was trying to figure out like the stroller situation, there was like a little play area nearby. One of the workers was playing with the kiddo. Oh yeah, after later after mass, kiddo was cornering a lady trying to tell her all about Hollow Knight. It was an English service and there's other English speakers, and she was like, "Oh yeah, my kids are gamers, I understand." And it was funny. I don't know, again, it's like it's hard to, because you want to teach your kids like, don't just like go up an info dump without any warning. Like, try and be considerate of people, give them a chance to have a conversation if they don't want to be there. Like, most people are very like kind and like happy to engage, but I also want to like teach them like how to like be polite about talking to people, I guess. He did say like, excuse me, like he kept going up to her like, excuse me, waiting to tell her more stuff about Hollow Knight. And she was like, oh, he's so polite. And then she said like there's a lot of kids these days, I guess, that like won't speak up and talk or chat about stuff. And I was like, well, I guess my kids don't have that problem. I feel like that's a mark of a homeschooler to be able to go up and just chit chat with adults. I know I was like that for sure. That's part of it. That's my personality, because I'll chit chat with a rock until their ears bleed. But so yeah, like kindness was nice. People around us. So that one of the big things that was really nice is, yeah, and yes, Hollow Knight is a great game. I need to play it on stream. Kiddo just likes to run around in the beginning part with the mods on and fight bosses. Like the little mod, you know, lots of bosses popping up. Before he discovered the mods, he would just like, he kept restarting the game and like speed running to go kill the Gruzmother. Also, like, whenever he restarts the game, he knows how to go the one direction and do the little spike thing, like do the little sword hitting the spikes to go get like that one charm that you can get at the beginning if you go through that one path. Know how to do the spike hitting thing. I'm bad at the spike hitting thing. He can do it. I gotta practice. Anyway, I need to do a Hollow Knight stream sometime. But so we started our trip in one area kind of outside of Tokyo. And then I had to like move us and our luggage down more into Tokyo. And I was really nervous. I was like, how am I gonna go about this? Looking back, maybe I should have just rented a car to drive down. I don't think I realized at the time that you can rent car seats with the car, which makes so much sense, because every time I thought about renting a car, I thought you just had to like bring your car seats with you. But it makes sense that you would be able to rent car seats. I don't know why I never thought of that. Most homes, let's see, hello there, how do you say that? Let me pull up my other chat. Make it a little bit bigger over here. There you go. Hello there, Daka Flacka Flame. Most homeschooled children I've met in the last 20-something years have been very good about talking with adults. Before that, a lot of them seemed incredibly shy around everyone. Very different dynamic being homeschooled. And of course, also, kids' personalities and such make a big difference. I met one of my good friends, though, because her son came up to me at the park and started telling me about snakes. And I was like, oh, I love black mambas. And so we chatted about snakes for a minute. It was also really sweet because, you know, there was a family that day. And then the little boy, he was probably like, he was pretty young. He was like maybe five, maybe 6 at the time. But it was so sweet because we talked about snakes, and then he was talking about like how cool his dad is. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. So I chatted with him for a minute. You know, then his mom came by and we started chatting. So now we're good friends. But I was definitely the kid that wanted to like engage and chat with people. So whenever there's like a similar kind of kid I run into, I try and give them my ear for a minute. Nicola says, I think I'll probably homeschool my kids if when I have kids. I really don't trust the schools. I think the big thing about schools is it's a certain kind of environment, and certain kinds of kids have a really hard time in that environment. I think that's probably, I think Mom can correct me at some point. That's I think partly why she homeschooled us. We were all pretty weird. Would have a hard time fitting in that environment. And now I'm remembering last time I said that, my brother Rocky, it was when I was streaming with Pippa, I said something like that. And my brother Rocky burst in and corrected me, like, and it was like, not denying that part, but also it was because she could do a better job. And I think she, like, at the time, well, still, I'm sure thinks and believes, like, school takes up so much time. The logistics of having so many kids trying to teach them takes up so much time. The actual, like, an individual kid given their schoolwork, it takes far less time than the logistics of teaching and moving classrooms. And the logistics of moving kids around and having a lot of kids to deal with can really hard on some kids. So yeah, I did like homeschooling. Gonna gear up for homeschooling my kids. Long time no see, Bread Mama. Hello there, Detective Glaive. Glaive? Yeah, it's been a minute. How are ya? Okay, so I was talking about... Okay, so we were traveling. We had to, like, travel, like, at least, like, an hour? I forget if it was an hour or we're getting closer to 2 hours. Also, I realized I should have rented a car because we didn't make it to Moomin Valley, and I'm pretty disappointed about that. We were like physically kind of close to Moomin Valley at the first place we went to, which is kind of why I wanted to be up there. But it was still like an hour and a half train ride, at least, to get up there. And like, you know, we like flew in on a Saturday, and so like Sunday went to church, and then it was like, okay, if we're able to like straight away go up there. But then the kids were having a moment, you know, feeling different kinds of ways. So I was like, I don't know if I want to try and like how quickly we can get up there. Maybe I should have pushed for it. But we did enjoy that day, like walking around the town we were in and finding like the cool local festival and stuff. So that was fun and pretty chill. And I was like, okay, maybe the next day I'll store the luggage at the hotel and we'll try and get up first thing and go. But one, it took much longer getting out of the hotel room. And then I realized like how much time it was going to take. So it was going to be like, you know, hour and a half to get up there. And then if we went straight from there to Tokyo where we were was like 2 hours. But then having to backtrack to get our bags, you know, it's like an hour and a half, and then having to get off the transition of getting off, going and getting our bags, coming back, and then it's like, you know, almost a 2 hour train ride back. And I was like, ugh, okay, maybe we won't try and do that. And maybe we'll just try and do the 2 hour train ride sometime from Tokyo. So that day, I was like, okay, we'll just take it easy. You know, it was like probably 11 by the time we left the hotel room anyways. Like got some food, kiddo napped, or not kiddo, dough baby napped. We like hung out at the library, and then I suddenly started panicking, like, oh, it's like 1 o'clock. Thinking about our timeline of like trying to get to the station, and like the time we'd actually be like entering Tokyo is approaching like rush hour. And so then I started to panic a little bit. And the people around me could start to they were reading the panic on my face. And one lady that's, got a couple languages, English, Japanese, was talking to me and like So I was like, how do I just like try and walk quickly to the hotel, or do I try and call a taxi? And then I was gonna try and call a taxi to get to the station with all the luggage. So tried to talk to her, and it took a bit. We were trying to like figure something else out that seemed like it was going nowhere. And then I was like, I should probably just start walking. If I'd started walking, I would have been back at the hotel already. Like if I started walking right away. But then they were able to, her and another lady were able to call a taxi and tell them like, you know, pick me up and take me to this hotel, and then wait there a second, and then take me to the station. So that worked out pretty smoothly. That definitely helped things of like being able to get there. I quickly like ran in and grabbed the luggage, and then we got to the station. I think we still got there at like 2 o'clock, 2:30 or something. So then I'm like, okay. Kiddo was probably feeling stressed, and acting on his stress a little bit. But we managed to like get to the station, get on the train, and it must have been that first train that we got on. That it's like I have the bulky stroller folded up. I've got Dough Baby probably on my front, probably wearing the backpack on my back. I've got like bulky stroller, and then, you know, little suitcase with like a little duffel bag on top. And because one hack I realized is, instead of buying stuff like food to like try and take with me, wait till I'm over there after the plane ride and buy a bunch of food for making sandwiches, mostly PB&J, because like any transition takes up time and energy. So I was able to like get stuff to try and pack us snacks and lunches, and that helped a bit. But it like took up more room, so now I have like the suitcase and then pulled out. I always bring like this duffel bag with me, and so on like when I return from a trip, I have room to put more things. But I'd already broken it out to put some stuff in. So anyway, I have like all this stuff, trying to get on the train, and managed to get us on. I was like, all right, train's open, get on, pull everything on. And so we get on, and then there was a, you know, I couldn't tell like for sure if they were like a couple or just like, you know, a friend. But there's a Japanese lady and a guy from Denmark, I think. And so started talking to the guy from Denmark, and they're heading in a similar direction as me. And so talking with them, and then also the lady, like I was telling them where I was trying to go, and the lady talking to the guy explained that the direction, like the train lines I was trying to take, there was like a shutdown or delay. They said because of a personal incident, which is ominous. But they were basically, anyway, they're like heading the same direction as me. And like on the train, he helped like, you know, hold on to the stroller for me. And then there's 1 or 2 stops that we went through together, because we were on like one short train, and then we got on the longer train. That was like the 40-minute train ride, and on that one I took Dough Baby off my back, and he immediately wanted the Japanese lady to hold it, like launched himself at her, and then stayed with her the whole time, wouldn't let me take him back. He wanted to sit with her the whole time, and he was just chatting to her the whole time, just like la 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 la. He was just chatting to her the whole time, playing with some of his little animals, looking at her jewelry. He just wanted to sit with her the whole time. I think she enjoyed it. She didn't like try and give him back. At one point, it seemed like he was trying to come back to me, but then he got upset and wanted to go back to her. And then, so after the long ride, they helped me, like we got off the train and they helped me get down to the platform I needed, and I was like, all right, this one will be good. And you know, it was like the one that like kind of circles Tokyo, so they're like, all right, after Tokyo Station, then it should be your station. So we stayed near Ueno. Ueno is a really nice spot. So that was like, I was so grateful to them, especially like I probably wouldn't have realized there was like a train delay or like line shut down, and just how quick you're able to like, you know, move from one platform to the other one, and you got the help of like carrying stuff and ushering the kids along. Because the lady probably carried Dough Baby through the station when we made that transition, and then they got me all the way to my platform. I was all good there, and then was able to send us to where we needed to go. I was very, very grateful. Very, very grateful for that, because it made things so much easier for me. But yeah, just kindness like that. Gosh, I should have written down all the little instances. I meant to. I feel like there's so many little instances like that. When it was like just me and the kids trying to manage ourselves around Tokyo together. Gosh, I think there was more, but I can't remember. I should have written it down. I knew I should have. Minna yawning sounds like a teenage boy trying to sound cool. That was a proper yawn. I don't know what the others are. Man, I'm mad at myself now. Why did I not write down notes? I should have. Lots of kind people along our way. There's lots of little instances. I should have written it down. Meh. Brain. Why you can't remember? There's so many kind people. These helpful, kind people. Seem two crazy kids. They're very energetic. That's for sure. Oh, I wanted to talk about like energy. How much energy they take up. Because I forget exactly how she phrased it. Pippa asked me a question. It's like we got like they're like she saw how genki desu they are. Sometimes I'll just say that to people when they're like smiling or looking at the kids being very energetic, and I'm just like genki desu. Which then I saw a video recently of this was the one funny guy, one of those funny guys on the internet that will like talk about Japanese history or culture. He's got like whitish gray hair, good storyteller. Anyway, I think he was talking about Kyoto, and like how like I don't know, two-faced, but like they'll say one thing but mean another kind of thing. Where I think it was him. I think he said like, oh, if like a Japanese person's like, oh, genki to your kids, that means like you need to shut your kids up. So I don't know. Usually I'm the one saying it. I don't think I've had like maybe like one or two people call them genki. Probably fine if I do it. I got the gaijin card. It's fine. I know. I was trying to convince Pippa to go check out Kyoto, and I think she was worried she was gonna be like judged more there, and I was like, no, it's chill. But now I get the fear. Anyway, Pippa asked me a question, and I can't remember how she phrased it. But let's see. Brain. It's still early. I guess it's 7 now. She asked me a question. I forget how she phrased it, but it was something about like trying to keep up with the kids, or like having energy to keep up with the kids, or something along those lines. I forget how she phrased it. Something about like how much energy I have for the kids. And my response was like such a like non-response, because like I realized I didn't answer her question. I just like said something about like, oh yeah, I realized I started like, I like answered with like how I switched from streaming at night to streaming in the morning because it was like, you know, streaming at night I'm staying up, and then like after stream it's hard to go to sleep, so there's like less sleep that I'm getting. And now I'm like, I don't that didn't answer your question very well. And it was an interesting question, and I've been thinking over it. About like how I'm able to like have energy for the kids. To keep up with them. I can't believe my brain was just like answered with like a streaming related thing of how I like switched my stream times to like waking up at 4 a.m. instead of staying up till like 2 or 3 a.m., which has been a lot better. And I finally convinced my body to be more of a morning person. I was always more of a night owl, always more of a night owl. But I finally was able to switch myself to more of a morning person, trying to wake up, and like my body will wake up. Like this morning, it woke up at like 5:45. And so that works better. It's been nice. Also, I realized at one point, I would like try and sleep longer, and my body would wake up in the middle of the night. So I stopped trying to sleep longer. Let's see, where was I? I was talking about energy. Trying to have energy. And of course I was all hyped up. Chatting, yapping a lot. Trying not to like yap too much, but yapping a lot. I think I definitely talk more when I'm nervous. I need to hang out with people a few more times so I could like be chill and slightly more normal. Because I just yap. But and I tend to like process things out loud. Anyway, I have like a random answer about streaming. And I've probably been I've probably been saying the same thing for the past 5 minutes. So again, I always have these thoughts in my head. I guess I either get them to a point where I've like really like processed them and chewed them down into like a concise like sentences when it's things like this, or I need to like sit and write it down. But the question stuck in my mind, especially because I answered it in like such a like non-answer way. I feel like I didn't actually answer the question. And it stuck in my head because I'm like, energy with the kids, having enough energy for the kids. Impossible. Like, fact is, I don't a lot of times have energy for the kids, and then realizing like how much that affects us. Like, because again, so much is on me. I set the tone, I set the mood, and that's one of the hard parts. Is like, you're not gonna have energy to keep up with them all the time. And I guess I don't usually think about this because most of my friends at this point, like our IRL friends, are also moms, and there's this like, it's hard to understand the all-encompassing, all-consuming aspect of especially little kids, and the kind of energy that takes from you. It's hard to understand until you've been there. So I guess I can't take for granted like the people around me understanding where I'm at, because they're also there. And so I was like, oh, like how do you express that to someone that hasn't been there? And like the hard reality of like, you're not always gonna have energy, and it's gonna affect everyone. Because again, how you're able to handle yourself really affects like your kids, I think. And it would also make me think like, I guess the switch to streaming, where it's I wake up in the morning and I've already like started my day, and it's much easier to like continue the day once they wake up, instead of like being very tired after staying up late when they wake up. Like little things like that, like realizing like I really need to try and manage my energy well, so that way I am in like a good place for keeping up with them, because it's very hard when you're not. Yeah, I feel like again I haven't processed these thoughts enough. Maybe I should write some stuff down. You know, that's the other thing I should do right now. I need to write. I keep telling this to everyone. It's like, oh, I need to write. But I won't write if I don't sit down and write. So I do need to... Oh, there's another thing happening later. I'll see if I, like, linked the Twitch. There's, like, a discussion on, like, dating culture. And it's gonna be a bunch of Christians talking about like dating culture, hookup culture, marriage and stuff. Sounds interesting. I wasn't able to find childcare this morning for it because I like discovered the thing happening like just like yesterday. I do need to do a writing stream. I'll talk about that in a second. Anyway, that's happening in like 2 hours ish, a little less than 2 hours. It happens at 7 p.m. CST, I think. It happens in about 2 hours. Since kids are gonna be around, I'm not gonna stream it. I'll just be on there and just like unmute myself when it's my turn to talk. But I should probably get up. I should probably lock in, clean up some stuff, cook some stuff. But talking about energy, trying to manage my energy well, so that way I do have the energy to keep up with them. Because that's what I've been mulling over, of like, I definitely know my weaknesses when it comes to like spending my energy in a way that's not like helpful. But then is it like, it's mostly like getting stuck on like, it's like that feeling like you're sitting there, it's like you don't want to do stuff, you just want to like sit there and like zone out. And it's like, is that because, am I using my energy doing that? Or am I doing that because I've used up my energy? Oh, someone's awake. It's Kiddo. Kiddo's awake. That's surprising. Usually he's up later. Or after. Usually Dough Baby's up first. Alright, time to wrap up stream then. Let me see. I'll put a link to the thing happening later. This is the host lady. Yeah, buddy. Alright, let's see. So this is the Twitch. Let me just copy this over here. Where am I? This way. Alright, there's that. So that can kind of be. Maybe I'll also do a raid. But also look at that. Pin that for later. Let's see. Have the kids swim in a pool of water. Pipe the stream. Wait, what are you saying? What is this? I can't see. What are you saying, Nicola? Have the kids swim in a pool of water. Pipe the stream to the turbine. Free energy. I don't think that's how it works. Thanks for the stream. Managing energy is one of my worries. Mm-hmm.
Trying to read.
Yeah, I'm trying to read. Trying to. Emphasis on trying. I don't know, if you're worried about like how you'll do, just know you will fail. But it's okay. You can recover, you can repair. It won't be perfect, but it's worth it. I'm holding Kiddo right now. He's so cool. I love him. I love you. He gave me a thumbs up. He's tired. Alright. I'll see if there's another raid too. I think the first step for these kinds of things, self-reflection, is being aware of your tripping points and trying to be proactive to negate them, I guess. Is that the word I'm looking for? Awareness is the first step. Hey, Salty Streamy, I'll go raid him. So we'll raid Salty, but also remember the Discord. I'll try and post it too. That'll be in a couple hours. So thanks for joining me for my little rambles. I guess I finally succeeded in a Zatsu stream. Don't be stretching. Alright. Let me come over here. Alright, until next time. Something fell. Until next time. Stay fresh, my friends. Bye!